Okay, anyway. Shashank, I told you something else. That's why I did not study on eat only. Arey, sir, this is too much of not be used. It has been suspended. Okay, now coming to contempt of court. Contempt of court comes through a law called Contempt of Court Act 1971. This law is made by Parliament. Okay, so this law has been made by the Parliament to punish for contempt. Contempt of court can be of two kinds. What two kinds? How can you cause contempt of court? One thing that you can do is you can disrespect the court by not following court's order only. You refuse to follow court's order. That's called civil contempt of court. That you say, I will not obey the court's order. Sorry, court. Court gives a judgment, an order, don't follow it. Deliberately, knowingly, willfully. Contempt of court. Civil contempt of court. Second is criminal contempt of court. So what is criminal contempt? When you scandalize the court. Scandalize, meaning horrify. Make derogatory remarks. Scandalize the court. Attack their dignity. Lower their authority. Obstruct the course of justice. Right? When let's say the court is running, you're sitting at the back and throwing paper balls on the judge. Possibly. Criminal contempt. Or you start singing songs in the court only. Right? Or after every judgment, you say, come on, Judge Saab, amazing judgment, hats off. If any of these things you do, this is a bit too much, that would be called criminal contempt. Or you make false allegations on the court. Now, let me remind you, if you criticize the judicial actions in a fair manner, that is not called contempt. Okay? Fair criticism is allowed. Okay? So, this is the Contempt of Court Act 1971. Please tell me which two courts have the power of contempt. Tell me. Which two courts? Great. Supreme Court, High Courts. And tribunals like CAT can also punish for contempt. I think we know this information also. Right? So this is with respect to the contempt of court. Clear? Now, what is the punishment for contempt of court? Punishment is maximum 6 months of jail, right? Maximum 6 months of jail or fine, which is maximum 2,000 rupees or both. So why do we have contempt of court? See, the judges are presiding over very important cases, and we don't want the judge to feel the pressure of the public, of the media, etc. And because of that extreme public or media pressure or scrutiny, the judgments are getting impacted. That should not be the case, right? Because you know very well, when things are out in the open, the media and the people declare somebody guilty without even looking into the piece of evidence, etc. Media trials happen. That should not be the case, right? And also, the courts are places to provide justice, so we need to uphold their dignity, uphold the respect of the courts, ensuring that they can give their judgments with independence. That's why we have Contempt of Court Act made by the Parliament for the High Court, Supreme Courts, and the tribunals. Okay. Now, one more point. Who can complain? The judge can complain suo motu. What is suo motu? On its own motion. On its own. So a judge can complain. Number two, can we complain? Yes, people can. But for that, we need the permission of Attorney General or Solicitor General or Advocate General. This is a special power of the Attorney General under contempt of court. So if, let's say, today I feel that you have made a derogatory remark against the court and I want to file a complaint that court, see, he's making fun of you. I cannot directly go and file a complaint. The Attorney General has to firstly approve, or the Solicitor General has to approve, or in case of High Courts, the Advocate General has to approve, and then only will I be allowed to file the complaint. Are we clear? This is the Contempt of Court Act 1971. Now, beyond this, what are the problems? Two problems. Number one, vague terminology. Now, come on. Scandalizing the court, obstructing the course of justice. What's the meaning of all this? Right? Attacking the dignity. See, sometimes a judge can be hypersensitive, gets angry at the smallest of things. That's possible, right? Secondly, my question to you is, if suppose I make a statement against the Supreme Court, some judge feels bad about it. He says that this faculty is criticizing judiciary too much, and the judge files the case. Okay. Now, who decides the case? Tell me, who is deciding the case? Judge only. And who is imposing the punishment? Judge only. Yes or no? Judge, jury, executioner, all in one. I have felt bad. I will file a complaint. And then I will sit and decide whether I felt bad or not, whether the complaint was genuine or not, whether the statement was wrong or not. And then after deciding, I'll impose a punishment also. No one can be a judge in their own case. Nema causa in judex sua, the first principle of natural justice. Is it not getting violated? Right? Where is the fairness? Principle of natural justice. When you are talking about fairness, where is the fairness? There is no fairness. Right? This is a problem. So violation of the PONJ also happens. Now, back in 1978, there was a Supreme Court judgment where Supreme Court told itself and High Courts and the coming judges in future that don't misuse contempt of court. Use it in a limited manner. Control, as Uday Bhai would say, control. Economic use of contempt of court. Economic, meaning don't overuse it. Then there should be a harmony, a balance between free criticism and judicial independence. I mean, of course, we all want that there should be independence and judges should be able to decide on the matters freely, but fair and free criticism should be allowed. Then media should be given a free play insofar as reporting is concerned. No, don't restrict the media. And judges should not be hypersensitive. Don't be hypersensitive. Come on, relax, calm down. So in the recent times, world over, we are witnessing, and especially in India also, we are witnessing the rise of people who take even jokes seriously. Don't take jokes too seriously. That's the whole point of jokes. They are jokes. Now, solve the poll now, guys. Decent, very good. See, Constitution of India does not define all these things. These are mentioned where? In the Contempt of Court Act 1971. In the law. 3 is wrong. Remove 3. So 1 and 2 are right. We don't even need to know these statements. They have to be right. 4. In India, the parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. Yes, 4 is correct. B is the right answer. Look at statement 1. Pursuant to the report of H.N. Sanyal, who will remember all this? H.N. Sanyal committee is giving recommendations. So the question was phrased in such a manner that you need not even know this statement. Elimination. Okay. Moving on to the next restriction on the next right. The right is to assemble peacefully and without arms. 2 restrictions are sovereignty and integrity and public order. This right does not include the right to strike. Right to strike is a statutory right. Are we clear? It's a statutory right. And right to assemble does not mean you want to assemble in your neighbor's house. That is not right to assemble. Right to assemble in a public place. And Supreme Court in 2020 also said that, see, if you want to protest vis-a-vis the Shaheen Bagh protests, if you want to protest also, there is no such right to indefinite protests. No right to indefinite protest. So, this was in the Amit Sahni case of 2020. Amit Sahni versus the Commissioner of Delhi, 2020. That you cannot occupy public place indefinitely. You have to have a limited protest period. Strike means you don't go to work. Okay? That is what is strike. Strike, sir. People don't go to work. They go on a strike. Integrity means ending the tendency to separate from India. Integral. Undivided. Okay? Did you understand, Mr. Ashay? What is integrity? English word? Word meaning class. Okay. Now, this right to strike comes from a different law only, so of course not required here. Now, as we said, your right to assemble is limited, reasonable, and laws can be there to restrict you. That is why under the Indian Police Act, if you want to protest also, you will have to give the police a request for your protest. Are we clear? And the police will give you permission. Without permission, it is illegal. The police can come and remove you also. And strike, there is no such fundamental right to strike, which also means what? Which means that if you ever strike working in some department, that day's salary does not come for you. So if your parents, anybody's parents here are in government jobs, etc., in a banking sector and all, you ask your parents, if you go on a strike, hartal, right? Then that day's salary is not given to you because right to strike is not your fundamental right. Now, there is also a law which prevents seditious meetings, meaning if you meet with the agenda to perform anti-government activities, etc., then that law can prevent you from meeting or assembling anywhere. Then you have section 144 and section 141. So in the new BNS, this is section 187. If the law is passed, BNS stands for Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the new IPC. It is yet to be passed. If passed, I am mentioning it. This refers to unlawful assembly. Unlawful assembly. 5 or more people assembling anywhere. Unlawful assembly. So the DM or the SDM or any officer authorized by the state government can ensure what? Can ensure that you will not be allowed to assemble. Like we had the curfew situation in the case of the pandemic, right? Where people, 5 or more people assembling anywhere was not allowed. Are we clear? So of course, that's there. Then 19(1)(c), right to form associations or unions or cooperative societies. CRPC stands for Code of Criminal Procedure. Lakshmi. So you have a right to form associations or unions, etc. Do you have a right to form a terrorist association? Tell me. You have a right to form an association. Does it also include the right to form a terrorist association? Of course not, because it will violate the sovereignty, the public order. What about morality? Morality could, an example would be, see, that is why this is a problem now. We have some school students also, underage kids also. How to give proper examples? Brothels. Those who are under 18, just assume these are bad places, immoral places. Okay? So, brothels in our country are not allowed, actually. See, there is no law to prevent prostitution as an individual activity. If an individual wants to sell sex for money, there is no law which prevents it. But you cannot run this as a group activity. That is why brothels, things like pimping. Who are pimps? Pimps are these middlemen, the agents who are involved in selling sex for money. So these kind of things are not allowed, right? That is why you will find that constantly these words are used. Sex racket in a hotel, in a spa, etc. The police raided and busted a sex racket. So it was running as an organization. That's not allowed. An individual, if you want to sell sex for money, there is no law to stop you. Are we clear, everyone? Okay. Now, to prevent, as all of you agree that unlawful activities should be prevented, and we should not form associations to do what? To create terror. There is a law in the country which was passed in 1967 to prevent unlawful activities of individuals and associations dealing with terrorist activities. This law is meant for both applicable on citizens and foreigners. In fact, uh, this UPA, this is called UPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UPA. So UPA's the lineage of UPA is this law called Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act, 1919. What is this law? Any idea? Have you heard this law before? Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act, 1919. Yes, some of you are absolutely correct. It is the Rowlatt Act. You have heard of it. You just don't know the name. It's the Rowlatt Act of 1990. The Rowlatt Act was original, or the appropriate name was Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act. So UPA actually traces its origin from that law only. And it's a draconian law, UPA. In our country, individuals and organizations can be declared terrorist organizations. Guys, just hold on just a minute, please. Saying in 2019, this law was amended. And when this law was amended, now individuals also can be declared a terrorist. Since UPA amendment of 2019. So since 2019, an individual is also or can also be declared as a terrorist. Just a minute. Declared as terrorists. Now, what's the punishment under UPA? From 5 years to even death sentence can be imposed. Are we clear? And if you become a member of any organization which has been declared an unlawful organization, you will be guilty of the offense and you will be punished. Clear? So before joining any organization, please know the ins and outs of that, whether that is involved in illegal activities or not. And if any of your terrorist activity results in death of an individual, you will be given death sentence. Simple. This is the UPA. And what is a terrorist activity? This is a definition of terrorist activity. So, any act which is or which is likely to or is likely to threaten the unity, integrity, security, or sovereignty of India. Unity, integrity, security, sovereignty of India. Security includes economic security and strikes terror using bombs, explosives, etc. Bombs, explosives, what else? Dynamites, chemical weapons, or any other means of whatever nature and causes or is likely to cause death, damage to property, etc. All these things are declared a terrorist activity. Are we clear? Now, or one more example, kidnapping a public official or kidnapping to compel the government to meet your demands. They are all called a terrorist activity. Look at the situation. If today somebody kidnaps you, nobody cares. Parents also happy. Good riddance. Right? Neighbor is happy. Enemies are happy. But, and no case. You go to police. What case? Ordinary criminal case. But if you are a civil servant, an IAS officer, and somebody kidnaps you, then terrorist activity. Look at the elevation in your status in life once you clear UPSC. Today's second motivation. Motivation after motivation today to clear UPSC. So if you want your kidnapping in future to be a terrorist activity, please study. Okay? And of course, don't get kidnapped. And let me just tell you something more important. If today you die, the person who killed you may or may not get a death sentence. Forget death sentence. He may not get a lifetime jail also. Right? But if you are a public servant and you are killed, causing or attempting to cause death of public servant is also a terrorist activity. And you can die in peace knowing that the person who has killed you will be given death sentence. Are we clear? Death sentence is a punishment. Again, a motivation. You are being bombarded with motivation today. Right? So, anyway. Kamlesh, sir, do these protests where people burn buses causing damage, that's called arson. It's a separate punishment in IPC, separately. It should not be called UPA. But if your target is to damage, then that could be called, depends on the government. They could place you under UPA. But ideally, that is basically basic arson. So that should not invite UPA normally. Abhishek, what about the CM kills IAS? Then also, who is the CM? After all, it's not the president or governor, right? But if the president or governor kills you, then we have to remove him first and then punish him. Yes, Neha. Insurgencies do come under this. Now, what are the issues with UPA? Number one is a vague definition of terrorist. Things like likely to cause is not causing but can possibly cause. Things like any other means. What is the meaning of all this? Let me explain to you. Let me give you a situation. Vague means something which is not clear. That's called vague. Okay, unclear. Your mom has asked you to fill the fridge with water bottles, and you are still on the phone. She has told you 3-4 times now, and you are still on the phone. And then comes a slipper flying from the other room on your face. Please bear with me now. It is an act which is likely to strike terror using any other means of whatever nature which is likely to cause damage to property, etc. This means that maybe that is a terrorist activity. So should you now go to the court and say, or the NIA, mom, terrorist, she is trying to strike terror by any other means like slipper, broom, etc. So vague definition. I mean, we are talking about dynamites and all, and suddenly use a very unclear kind of word, any other means. Problem. Guys, please don't go and complain because the repercussions that will come after, I will not be held responsible for that. Okay, so please. This is a true story that was also published somewhere. So in these foreign countries, you have seen these Hollywood movies where the kid will bang the floor, stomp his feet, etc., talk back to their parents. Have you ever tried to just close the door in your house while your parents are there? Impossible. And closing the door on the face of your parents, unthinkable. And then in these Hollywood movies, they always show what is the punishment? Go to your room. In our country, what is the punishment? Proper thrashing. So this true story is that one such family from they had moved to USA from India, and the husband and the wife, they were fighting on some topic, and the kid, 6-7-year-old kid, he came in between and he was trying to just irritate them further, and the father slapped the kid and said, get lost from here, and started fighting. After a few minutes, the police came in the house to arrest the father because the kid had called 911 and had called the police for hitting him. Finally, the parents apologized and all, and the police let them go. Right? This became a very serious thing. And now the father realized that, oh, what can I do? So he stopped hitting the kid completely, and days passed. So after around a year and a half, around 18, 19 months later, they were coming to India. As soon as they landed on the Chennai airport, the father started beating the kid, black and blue, at the airport only. For 18 months, he had held his anger. Now it is India. Now call 911. Let's see. That is why, please don't involve court and police when parents are involved. Okay? So, anyway, let's come back now. So, issues with UPA, point one is this. Second is difficulty in getting bail. Now, see what happens is, normally bail is a norm. Bail should be given. But in UPA, bail is not a norm. Bail is an exception. I'll give an example. There is a section 43D, subsection 5, which says that bail will be denied if on the face of it, prima facie, charges appear to be true. Charges or allegations appear to be true. They are not. They seem like they might be true. No bail. Come on. Such is the draconian provision of UPA. And extended periods of custody. The total custody period here is 180 days. So you can be kept in custody for 180 days, and 180 days is the time given to the NIA to file a charge sheet in the court. What is charge sheet? Charge sheet is the list of all the charges, all the allegations against you. What all laws have you broken? What all crimes have you committed? That's called charge sheet, right? 180 days of time is given. And in these 180 days, you are in jail. Whose money is wasted? Taxpayers' money is wasted. Then it undermines federalism. Why? Because cases of terrorism, NIA gets the authority to inquire. The National Investigating Agency, NIA, which is a central body, it gets precedence over the state police. Law and order and public order is a stateless subject. But center has made a body called NIA and has given it the power to look into the terrorist activities. And beyond that, one more thing. Very poor conviction rate. What is the conviction rate in UPA? 2.2%. That's it. In the last 10 years, 10,553 people have been arrested. 52. How many people got convicted by the court? 253 convictions. 2.2% is the conviction rate under UPA. Out of 100 arrests, 98 are wrong arrests. In fact, only less than 4.5% cases have been completed in UPA. This is the case. And the top states to misuse UPA are Manipur. In fact, of all the cases, 30% cases have been filed in Manipur in the last 10 years. Then UP, almost 20% cases. Then Assam, 14% cases. Bihar, 8% cases. Jharkhand, 7.3% cases. Jammu and Kashmir, 7.1% cases. Then Tamil Nadu. Then other states. So these are the percentage of cases filed state-wise under UPA. Largely misused. So basically, UPA has seemingly blurred the line between political dissent and criminal activity. The distinction is no longer there, it seems. Right? So that's again a concern. So this was UPA. Now 19(1)(d) and 19(1)(e). 19(1)(d) is a right to move freely, and 19(1)(d) is right to live anywhere. Now both these rights are available, and both these rights have the same restriction under Article 19, Clause 5. And what is that? Interest of general public and the protection of the interest of any scheduled tribe. So both these rights have the same limitation, right? Tell me, what are the examples of some laws which limit these rights? Right to move freely, right to live anywhere. Scheduled areas. Five and six. Okay. Inner line permit areas. Border areas. Military cantonments. Okay, the forest acts, very good. Various forest acts prevent your movement to various forest reserves. What else? Okay, section 144 IPC can prevent your movement. Then what else? Disasters. Okay, there is a law called Disaster Management Act, and Epidemic Diseases Act. During epidemics, your movement can be curtailed. Okay. Then what else? I mean, in general, if you have any contagious disease, your movement can be curtailed. Then we also have laws called Gunda Act in various states, where as per the Gunda Act, the local official can throw you out of the district. Tadi par. You will not be allowed entry in the district. Right? So don't give me examples. Give me the names of laws. And of course, Supreme Court, High Court orders. So these are all various laws wherein the person's right to move freely and right to live anywhere can be curtailed. So for border areas or cantonments, we have the Official Secrets Act, etc. Are we clear? Here also, same as previous slide. And lastly, 19(1)(g), POTB, profession, occupation, trade, business. POTB. Have we seen this law before anywhere? Or this article, sorry. 19(1)(g). I don't write yes. You tell me which place. How sweet. Writing yes. Which place? Municipality. We saw this under Article 15, PA Inamdar judgment, BK Vibhu. Very good here. Excellent. So, under Article 15, Kavana, Krishika, only two more accurate answers. Remember, the courts cancelled the reservation in private schools and colleges because it violated Article 19(1)(g). So you have a right to run your own school or college. Of course you do. But that does not mean that you have the right to practice any kind of profession where some technical qualifications are required. If today you say, I want to conduct bypass surgeries. Guys, I have opened a shop. Please come to the shop, like my channel, subscribe to my video. Come to the shop, get your bypass surgeries, get your open heart surgeries at just 100 rupees per person. Can you start a business to conduct open heart surgeries? Tell me, please. Of course not. Some tasks require professional or technical qualification. Please don't start such an activity like selling of pharmaceutical drugs. It requires a degree. Sometimes there can be a monopoly also. Government can create a monopoly over Government can create a monopoly over any trade, business, industry, or service. For example, I don't think that anybody here is interested in running a missile launching activity. But what if you say that no, 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 no. Today, I want to start my own defense manufacturing shop. Come to my shop, please purchase pistols, bombs, missiles. This is my business. Tell me, is this possible to have your own missile shop? No, right? Exactly. Or let's say you today say that me and my friends are forming a group, and from tomorrow onwards, we'll have our own police service and we will enforce IPC in the country. And you start arresting people only, saying that we are the new police. Who created? We ourselves have created ourselves, the new police. So, of course, sometimes the state can tell people that you are not to start this trade or business or industry or service. Clear? Girish says, I have seen in Bangalore bus stops people doing teeth alignment with just chair and teeth alignment. I have no idea, Girish, and I would tell you, please stay away from these people, right? So I have no idea. I have not seen that teeth alignment thing. Oh, interesting. Is it like a medical procedure or just cleaning of teeth and stuff, Girish? In KR Market bus stop, sir. Okay. So if anybody at any point of time wants to get their teeth aligned in Bangalore and they come to Bangalore, as per Girish, please visit the KR Market bus stop. But don't get your teeth aligned, please. Go to a dentist. Now, a question is asked last year, 2022. Right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available. To the Indian citizens, but these rights are not absolute. Do you agree on this? Right of movement. No, Tarun, why don't you agree on this, sir? What happened? Right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to Indian citizens, but these rights are not absolute. Mention about what is this right? 19(1)(d) and E. Mention the restriction and then mention examples. We have seen plenty of examples. And the reason that rights cannot be absolute. Okay. So will we write an answer for this question? Tell me, please. Silence. Yes. Before the examination, in the next 4 or 5 years only, great if you do it. It would be amazing. Now let's move on to the next right, that is Article 20, protection of in respect of conviction for certain offences. 3 very simple provisions. No ex post facto law, no double jeopardy, no self-incrimination. Simple, sweet, easy to understand. So, Article 20 says that there are 3 things available. No ex post facto law. Okay. What is ex post facto law? Retrospective effect. From backdate. I'll give you an example. There's a definition here. If you want to read it, read it. Otherwise, not required. Now, I hope you all are aware and do remember this Nirbhaya case that shocked the nation in 2012. right? Are you aware of this? I think most of you would be, right? It it is a reminder of what an individual is capable of in our country, right? And of course, the failure of our governments to protect the citizens once again, right? Sadly, that's why we say that we have survived despite the government, not because of it. Anyway, so in this particular Nirbhaya case, what actually happened was that there were these 5 convicts, of which one was a juvenile, a minor. Yes or no? Minor. And the point is that he was 17 years old, almost 18, but because he was under 18, he was not sent to the regular prison and to a juvenile justice home, and now he's out also, right? Escaped the punishment just because he was 6 months or 7 months or maybe a year younger. Now, please tell me, is 18 some kind of a magical age where suddenly, when you wake up from the 18th birthday, you have an understanding of what is right and wrong? No, it's a phase, right? So, just because you are 17 years and 11 months does not give you the right to commit a crime. The point here is this was realized, and then under the chairmanship of Justice J.S. Verma, right? Justice J.S. Verma committee, a committee was set up, Justice J.S. Verma committee, which gave the recommendation that see, we can treat kids between 16 to 18 years as adults, right? So if any kid between 16 to 18 commits a crime, a juvenile justice board will look into whether the kid had attained maturity or not, and if this board is uh, board accepts that yes, this person was mature enough to understand the consequence of the crime, then we'll punish the person and treat him as a what? As an adult. So we have modified the law now. The law is modified since 2015. Clear? Uh, Now, tell me, should we punish this juvenile? Should we call this person back? Say, come here now. Law has been modified. You can also be punished. Tell me. Should we punish? See, firstly, we cannot punish because laws cannot be imposed from back date. Of course, this is only with respect to criminal laws, not tax laws. And for those who are saying yes, no, no, that would not be fair. Actually, if you do this, then misuse by state is possible because it will be highly inequitable and unjust, because you are going to punish somebody for an action which at the time of committing the action was not punishable. So it should not be done, right? See, we cannot make laws on a case to case basis. Sadly, what happened was wrong, right? Abhorrent, but that's the cost you pay for choosing the great leaders that you have. Simple. So you can never go back and punish people for the wrongs. This is not justified. Now we have evolved, right? So this should never be the case. It creates a sense of equitability in the society also, right? Now, sometimes the courts have also said that see, nature of activity and the harm it has caused to the community may be a sufficient reason to justify retrospective application. In fact, internationally, this is accepted that if you have committed such a deadly crime, then laws can be made harsher from the back date. But normally, this is never done. Even internationally and globally, this is never done, right? We know very few cases, especially in the modern day, it's rarely done. So this should not be done. No person shall be convicted of any offense except for the violation of a law in force at the time of the commission of the act, nor subjected to a penalty greater than that prescribed by the law in force at the time of commission of the act. Right? Ilamohil, can they do that for Nazi camp guards? Nazi camp guards are committing a crime by killing people. It was a crime. Killing people was a crime at that point of time also. And as I said, you may find this happening internationally in some situations, but we don't allow for this at all. But yes, tax laws can be imposed from back date. Criminal laws cannot. Point one, no ex post facto law. Second point, no double jeopardy. What is double jeopardy? Double punishment. Punishing somebody more than once. This is available only in case of judicial proceedings. So if you have been punished for a crime, you will not be punished for that same crime again. It will not be the case that, let's say, you have been punished with 20 years of jail and you come out of jail and the judge says, no. I did not feel that punishment is sufficient. Send him back 10 more years. No, that can't be done. But if you have been punished with jail, you come out and you commit another crime, right? Then that is a separate crime. Then you can be punished. Are you clear? If you kill somebody and are sent to jail and you come out and kill somebody else, that is a different crime. That is punishable for the same crime. Okay? We had seen this under the Shatrughan Chauhan case also, where under clemency, too much of time was being taken by the president to decide. What is that? A classic case of somebody being punished more than once. 10 years of jail and then death sentence also. So, nemo debet bis vexeri. A man must not be put twice in peril for the same offense. This is actually borrowed from USA. In USA, they have their 5th Amendment to the US Constitution. Which is this no double jeopardy. What if the person has committed more than one crime? Multiple punishments. For every crime, there can be a separate punishment. Okay? But this is only meant for judicial proceedings. Are we clear? So, for example, I hope you'll remember this. I would like to remind you of those amazing days when in your school days, you got very poor marks. Firstly, the teacher scolded you. Then you came back home. Mom slapped you. In the evening, father came. He also thrashed you. Punishment for the same thing again and again and again. That is allowed. I'm not saying that is allowed, but you can't go to court for that. Please don't go to court. The double jeopardy is happening. So next time your mom has scolded you and your father tries to scold you, you please tell him double jeopardy is happening. I will not tolerate it. And then you'll have to tolerate way more. So please, when you use any of these articles in your house, always remember, you have to bear the consequences, not me. Knowledge, examination, not in the house. Very dangerous. Tarun, currently too. Oh, acha, you are still in school, so you are still facing. Oh, did I touch a nerve, Tarun? Extremely sorry. Okay. Rahul Gandhi was given jail sentence and also disqualified. Those are two different elements of the law. Disqualification under other law and punishment. Court gave punishment. Disqualification for membership is a separate activity only. It is not done by court. Tomorrow, yes, holiday. Vague means unclear. Dinesh, BNS means Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Pooja, sovereignty means a nation being sovereign is free to take decisions. Sanjay Dutt was held guilty under TADA. Gaurav. Amit, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause D. Amit, increase your volume. JJB stands for Juvenile Justice Board. Ramya, ex post facto law means a law being applied from back date. Something was not an offense and now it has become an offense. Or you are increasing the punishment. Okay? Clear? Lakshmi, judicial proceedings meaning in the courts, in the court system, in judicial cases, in trials and all. Not in your house, not in your administrative department. No. Avni, currently in school, PTM will be soon. Oh, parent teacher meeting is happening. Third thing, no self incrimination. Have you seen these? One more thing in double jeopardy. K. Mahesh, I gave the exact example. It will not come under double jeopardy. Guys, please understand. If you commit a crime, say of murder, you are sent to jail, you come out, you commit one more murder. That's a different crime. Common sense. Okay? Two different crimes. Punishment again. This time for this murder. Now, one more thing. I think there's a movie called Luck. Luck, an Hindi movie. It's a Hindi movie, right? So you know how movies completely distort the reality. So I had not seen the movie. Why would I see this movie? But anyway, because the day I started teaching polity, somebody would come and tell me that, sir, but in this movie, they are showing this. So I had to see the movie. I saw this movie a few years back. Anyway, things you do for polity. So in this movie, there's a scene in the beginning that there's this actor Ravi Kishan. So Ravi Kishan is being given the death sentence and he's being hanged to death. And when he is hanged, the rope breaks. When the rope breaks, he has to be let off. And the movie shows that he's coming out smiling and dancing. And there's a background voice which says, because of the Indian judicial system, which does not allow punishments twice for the same offense, he had to be let off. That is utter nonsense. Okay? The old CRPC also, the new CRPC also, it clearly states that you will be hanged by the neck till you die. If the rope breaks, don't worry. We'll hang you again till the punishment is complete. Okay? So please don't fall prey for such nonsensical information given in the movies. Don't pray to God that, oh, I'll commit some crime, rope will break and I'll survive. No. Third one. So VK Kush, you will be punished for kidnapping also and for killing the person also. Those are two different crimes. Kidnapping is separate crime. Killing is separate crime. No self-incrimination means you will not be forced into giving a testimony against yourself. Have you seen these Hollywood movies where they say you have a right to remain silent and whatever you use or say will be used against you in the court of law? Have you seen that? reading your rights. In India also, the police should tell you this when they arrest you, that you have a right to remain silent. Why? Because no person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Are we clear? You cannot be forced into accepting your crime. So when the police asks you, did you commit the crime? Need not tell the truth. It's okay. You keep on denying. Are we clear? So you will never be forced into giving a testimony for yourself. Now, of course, when the police is trying to collect evidence, then you have to give them material objects like your phone, your phone password. I'm sure some of you would say, I accept my crime, don't ask for my password. Giving thumb impression, specimen signature, blood specimen, etc. All these things will have to be given, but the police will not ask you to accept your mistake, though that's what the police does. In our country, the police asks the people very nicely, have you committed the crime? In these foreign countries, the police conducts investigations and collects evidences and all. In our country, in the lockup, the police, with full emotions, requests you, please tell us, have you committed the crime? So nicely. And then people, after a few hours, accept their mistake. Yes or no? So those things are not allowed actually, right? Custodial tortures and such things are not allowed. What can we do? See, the idea is accused is presumed to be innocent. It is for the Article 248 is for murder. What is this, Rumaiza? I do not understand it. What Article 2? Article 248 is residuary powers in the Indian Constitution. What are you referring? See, it is the duty, it is the for the prosecution, the police to establish your guilt, the courts. It's not your duty to accept your mistake. And that is why when you make any confession to the police, that confession can't be used in court. Because what if that confession was forced out of you? There's a very good movie on this. I am not sure whether I have spelled it right or wrong. The Tamil students would know if the spelling is correct or not. So this is Visaranai, which is what's the English name? The Interrogation. It's actually Vetrimaran's movie. So Vetrimaran is known for exposing the wrongdoing in the police department. So I'm not sure if there's any Telugu remake of it or a Hindi remake of it, but it's based on a true story actually. A true story. Okay. So Visaranai. Anyway, the idea is that whatever confession you give to police, that can't be used in the court. Okay. But just one small point. There's a law called POTA. Any idea? POTA? POTA was the last law to be passed in a joint sitting. POTA has been repealed, but all the provisions of POTA have now been added to UPA. So under POTA, if you accept your mistake, if you confess in the presence of an SP ranked officer, your confession is deemed to be valid. Such draconian law. What is so special of an IPS officer? Does he not, is he immune from tortures? Of course not. So imagine you bring some IPS officer and beat the hell out of the person, and when the person accepts his mistake or confesses to a crime, that confession can be used in court. How is this law fair? Right? So that was POTA. That is why whatever you confess can't be used in court. Now, one more thing. There is also a Selvi case, 2010. Now, I'm sure you are aware of these things like lie detector or polygraph test. Narco analysis. So all these tests like lie detector and narco analysis, they can't be done. They need the permission of accused to conduct. So to conduct it on you, your permission is required. And if you deny the permission that I will not, that will not be seen as an admission of guilt and all. Are we clear? So you can simply deny this, no problem. Narco analysis. Basically, drugs are injected in your body and which impacts your central nervous system, and you are not able to think rationally. You lose control over your system and maybe you will blurt out the truth, right? Sodium pentothal is used. It is based on a very simple concept. What do you do when you drink too much alcohol? When you drink alcohol, those who drink here or have ever had a chance to drink alcohol, what happens? Two things happen when you drink alcohol. Number one, you suddenly start speaking English, right? And number two, you start speaking the truth. So same thing. Okay, so that is how it is with respect to narco analysis. It's a very risky process because you're injecting drugs. Why English? Sir, it was a joke, sir. Please don't ask me to explain the joke. Second point, sir. Second point simply means I will not ask you to accept your mistake. But as a policeman, I have full right to collect evidences. So I can ask you to give me all possible things which can help me in finding out evidence. I can ask you to give me your laptop, mobile phone. I can ask you to give me your blood specimen, right? Uh, your signature specimen, etc. Those things can be done. Let's move on now to Article 21. The most important right that we have is Article 21. The right to life and liberty. No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. So by following a procedure established by law, we can take away your life or we can send you to jail. But without that, we will not send you to jail. What is meant by procedure established by law? See, procedure which has been established by law. As a law enforcement agency, what is the first task you do? Tell me. If you are the law enforcement agency, the government, what is your first task? The first task as the executive is to prevent a crime. Don't be so angry immediately. I'll arrest only. Calm down. As the song goes, please. Firstly, prevent a crime. Then, if the crime has been committed, then what happens? Then somebody reports, a preliminary inquiry is conducted. A basic inquiry is conducted, right? And once inquiry has been conducted and you find the allegation to be true, then, or rather we should have written like this: complaint and inquiry. So somebody files a complaint and then inquiry is conducted. Fair enough. Once the inquiry has been conducted, then what do? Then you start making some arrests, file an FIR. Once this is done, you start collecting more evidences. Evidence collection. Plus you file a charge sheet. What is a charge sheet? Charge sheet is what? The list of all the allegations against you. List of all the laws you have allegedly broken, supposedly broken. Once this is done, you are then taken to court. In the court also, trial takes place. Trial, where if you don't have a lawyer, you are given a lawyer. After the trial is over, comes the judgment, the verdict, and in the verdict, you can be acquitted. If you are a rich person, if you have not committed a crime, you are acquitted. And if you have committed a crime, you are convicted. Slip of tongue, guys. Ignore that. Why to blame the judiciary? And finally, once you are convicted, you are sent to jail or some fine is imposed on you. This is the entire procedure that is followed. Now, different laws may have different procedures. Like say PCRA. Under PCRA, we saw today untouchability. No need of inquiry. Direct arrests happen. But whatever procedure is mentioned must be followed. So we can jail you, we can kill you also, but we will follow this procedure. This has been borrowed from Japan. Which actually does what? Places limitation on the executive and its arbitrary powers. The police cannot randomly come and arrest you. No. They have to follow this procedure, come what may. So places limitation on the executive. Now, think of this. Look at this photograph. This is, for those who do not know, this is the actor Ranveer Singh. Now look at what he is wearing right now. See, imagine there is a law passed. A law is passed which states that if you wear a dress like this, you will be given a jail sentence for 10 years. Right? Dress Causing Mental Trauma Act 2023. Now my point is, what will happen is, the government, the police informs people, please don't wear a dress like this. Don't carry a handbag like this. Guys, don't have shoes, socks like this. Don't wear a necklace like this, etc. But somebody will still wear a dress. You go and complain. Right? Complain. Inquiry is conducted. It is found that, oh, some evidence is there. You are arrested. Ranveer Singh is arrested. FIR is filed. The police goes to his house, finds the dress, right? And they also sees photographs of the person wearing the dress. They take the matter to court. In the court, evidences are submitted. The judge finds him guilty and sends him to jail. Was the procedure followed properly? Tell me yes or no. Yes. See, this procedure established by law, it is only checking the executive action. But tell me, what is the point of this law? I mean, why should we have a law? Is this law justified? Is my question. whether you wear a dress like this or you wear no dress at all, like he has done in the past, that is of no concern to us. Yes or no? The problem here is in the law only. If the law itself is wrong, then what's the point of properly implementing the law? Imagine today the government says we have made a law. Nobody will eat chicken tikka. Right? If you are found eating chicken tikka masala, you will be hanged till death. Is the law justified? Tell me. No. So the problem is sometimes laws can be stupid. See, people can hold various opinions. Maybe you are eating chicken every alternate day and somebody does not like that. What to do? You can't make a law for that. You have to bear with it. So, the point is very simple. Due process of law, borrowed from USA. This talks about the idea of fairness, justice. Justice. Now the point here is the law should always be reasonable, the law should be fair, the law should be just, it should be rational. We cannot have an irrational law in the country. Now, who makes a law? The legislature. So, due process keeps a check on legislative action. That's the difference between procedure established by law and due process of law. Clear? So, not only should we follow the procedure properly, we should also firstly check whether the law that we are applying, imposing on people, is that being, or is the law in itself justified? Are we clear, everyone? So, due process was not originally a part of the Indian Constitution. In fact, Supreme Court itself said initially that we cannot check for due process. But in the Menka Gandhi case 1978, when her passport was impounded, the Supreme Court said that no, due process also needs to be followed. We will check whether the law is justified or not. Clear? So since 1978, we also have the concept of due process, which is not mentioned in the Constitution, of course, but is in an interpretation of the Supreme Court. Did we understand the difference between procedure established and due process? Please tell me. Haji, innocent aspirants, wake up from sleep and slumber. Did we understand it? Oh, innocent question by Dinesh. What is due process, sir? Sir, after giving these photographs and examples, if you ask me again, what is this? How is it fair, sir? This should be a criminal offense. Let me just summarize once again. Okay? See, you have to follow proper procedures mentioned in the law before you can punish somebody with either jail sentence or death sentence. But following the procedure is not sufficient. We have to also ensure that the law that you are applying on people is also logical. When you check the law, that is called due process, because law has to be logical, it has to be rational, it has to be fair, it has to be just. For example, if you study for 10 hours a day, you are following the proper procedure of study. But if you have chosen the wrong book to study, then what's the point of studying for 10 hours a day? Please tell me. So studying 10 hours a day is a procedure, but choosing a wrong book to study. If you are studying for UPSC and you bring the Constitution of Somalia and you start mugging up the Constitution of Somalia, then whether you study for 10 hours or 20 hours, will you clear UPSC? Tell me. Maybe you will clear the Somalia Public Service Commission examination, but not for UPSC. That is what is due process. Yes, no, not debates. Mayank Badwani, trial establishing facts only happens in lower courts, not in the High Court and Supreme Courts, only in exceptional circumstances. Clear? Okay. That's it. Done. Now, Article 21 is such a beautiful article. It has such wide interpretation that this article has been interpreted to mean so many things. Look at the situation today. Article 21 does not just mean right to life. It also means right to live with dignity. It also means right to a decent environment. It also means right to livelihood. It also means right to privacy. Puttaswamy case. In the Puttaswamy case 2017, retired Justice Puttaswamy, Supreme Court 9-judge bench with a 9-0 judgment said right to privacy is a part of right to life. So next time your parents invade right to privacy, tell them they are violating Article 21. Clear? You may get more slaps, but again, polity wins. That's our point. Then right to shelter, right to health. Mohinder Singh Chawla case, MS Chawla. 1997. Then right to free education up to 14 years of age. This is the Unni Krishnan case. Right to free legal aid, right against solitary. What is solitary confinement? Which judgment is this? Do you remember? Shatrughan Chauhan case of 2014. Right to speedy trial, the biggest joke in our country. Right against handcuffing. Next time when the police comes to arrest you and they handcuff you, you please tell them, hello, no handcuffing, get lost. I know my rights. Again, the police may slap you, but polity wins. That's the whole point. Then right to timely medical treatment in a government hospital. Timely medical treatment in a government hospital. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. But anyway, right of prisoners to have necessities of life. Right of women to be treated with decency and dignity. Right of fair trial. Right against public hanging. This was the Lachma Devi case. Then right against inhuman treatment. Right to trial abroad. This was the Menka Gandhi case, where her passport was impounded. Right against bonded labor. So many rights are there. Right? Right to hearing, right to information. Right to information in the Reliance Petrochemical case. Supreme Court has said that right to information is a fundamental right, a part of Article 21. Then right to reputation, we saw today only how the Supreme Court said that Subramaniam Swamy case 2016. In this case, Supreme Court said that criminal defamation has to be there because every person has a right to reputation. Then right against bar fetters. These are called bar fetters. See, when your hands and legs are attached, this is a cross bar fetter. These are bar fetters. And when there's a chain, these are called chain fetters. So you're not allowed to be treated like this in the jail now. Right to sleep, which some of you are enjoying right now, I'm 100% sure. sleeping and snoring, right? So right to sleep is also a part of Article 21. You have a right to marry. In the Hadia case 2018, you have a right to marry someone of your choice. But please understand that person should also be interested in marrying you. Are we clear? That's a very, very important criteria. So please don't go and say, I want to marry you, Article 21. Court, please ask the person to marry me. The court may give you a tight slap. Pavitra, are you trying to translate into Hindi? सभी बिंदु माकूब होने चाहिए सर. जी श्रीमान, did you just translate Hindi? Yes sir in Hindi and post it here. Okay. So right to marriage is there. Then right to freedom from noise pollution. Right against sexual harassment. This was just done in 2021. Mudrika Singh case. So if somebody is sexually harassing you, it has now been equated to violating your right to life. The importance of this judgment. Rajan, sir, court will become matrimony? Arey, sir, court will not conduct your marriage. See, somebody here feels that he'll get a free marriage. I know, sir. For marriage, Rajan, you need a partner also. Firstly, get a partner. Go and get married. And if you get married and parents interfere, the court will offer protection to you. Okay? But I would request you to convince your parents first. Please don't take matters in your own hands. If you are working professional, you are an IS officer, then no problem. Then nobody will raise a finger. So this is the fourth or fifth motivation today. If you want to marry the person you love, please clear the examination. Nobody will raise any question. Yes, Rajan, I understand, sir. Lakshmi, freedom from noise pollution, meaning freedom from noise pollution. This refers to if in your surrounding area somebody is playing, say, DJ at a very loud volume, then you can approach the court and ask them to stop. Right? Yes. Motivation after motivation today. Shargun says, sir, there is no time for such nonsense called love. Oh, so sweet. So motivated. That's amazing. Great. Lakshya, that would depend on the law. If the person has taken the permission from the police authorities to play some DJ, etc., depending on that. Bar fetters are these chains. So in the British times, they used to chain people. Abhishek says, right against sexual harassment, is it only for males or females? So the law is silent on this. So I would assume that it is gender neutral. So if you are facing this problem, it is equated to violating Article 21, right? Okay. No Godavari, that is yet to be considered a right in our country. Clear? Solve this question. Examples you should know, the popular cases, etc., because the question has come this year only on this topic. So you should know some examples. Yes, I'll give you 45. Done. 100% A. Okay. So the right answer is A. Please hear me out. Procedure established by law means fair application of law. The law has to be applied fairly. Principle of natural justice talks about fairness, talks about justice, right? Due process talks about fairness, talks about justice. Do you remember this point? Long time ago, when we were discussing PONJ, I talked about PONJ providing justice, fairness. So these two mean the same thing. They are the same thing. Procedure established by law means fair application of law. Anushka, that is what I am explaining to you. Applying laws fairly is different from the fairness of the law. Law is fair. Law is applied fairly. Tell me, are these two phrases different? No? They are same for most of you. Oh, okay. Thankfully. Some are saying no, it is surprising. Guys, the law is fair. The food is nice. The food has been eaten nicely. And they are two different things. I think for detail on the English language, we'll have to attend the English classes once they start, right? I may not be able to explain because it may take a lot of time for me to now explain the word meaning here. Anyway, okay, no sarcasm. So on a serious note, law is fair is due process. Law is applied fairly is procedure established. Clear? Please remember this point. Don't forget it. Yes, yes, Abhishek. Very good. Excellent, sir. Full points. Solve this question. I think this is an easy question. Percent correct answer. 1. Solve this question. Solve one more question. This is actually a repeat question. Right to privacy was asked again in 2021. But let me give you. Third got crossed more. Some of them were enjoying the right to sleep. Fair enough. %94 people got this correct. I think that's the highest we have seen. And that's the best we can get. Look at the question. This was repeated. In 2018, this question is asked. Why? Because right to privacy was declared a part of Article 21 in the year 2017, Puttaswamy case. In 2019, right to marry was asked because the Hadia case was of 2018. Again in 2021, the same right to privacy was asked, which was asked in 2017. Look at UPSC. Now, this question was asked in 2023, this current main examination. Look at the question. The Constitution of India is a living instrument. Living instrument. Why do we call this a living document? Because it can grow. It can be modified. Growth and modification possible. Which article allows for the modification? Innocent people, please tell me. Okay, great, amazing. Today is a day of surprises. Everybody marking the correct answer. Guys, please. Some mistakes are required. I may not be able to digest and tolerate such amazing response. Please. Great, amazing. So, the Constitution is a living instrument with capabilities of enormous dynamism. Right? It's completely dynamic in nature. Keeps on growing. It is a constitution made for a progressive society. Illustrate with special reference to expanding horizons of right to life and liberty. Do you remember we had discussed a similar such example in activism, that the Supreme Court has been widening the scope of Article 21, keeping in times the changing circumstances. There are things which were wrong 20 years back, which is right now, right? Things which were right earlier are wrong now. So we always keep on growing. Living instrument. And you have to give examples of how Article 21 incorporates all these elements. So you can start by firstly explaining Article 21, the core provision, and then start explaining how the scope has grown, be it the aspect of dignity in terms of right to live with dignity, uh, then pollution free environment, etc. Then health, examples of right to health, timely medical treatment, etc. Then privacy, mention examples of privacy. Clean environment, write these and explain what they would mean. Then write against sexual harassment. So here again, it all boils down to how much you know as examples, right? Right to livelihood, right to education, etc. And in the conclusion, simply say that the dynamism of this Indian constitution, particularly Article 21, with its ever widening scope, reflects its ability to adopt to the evolving needs of a progressive society through judicial interpretations. Through judicial interpretations, the scope has been widened. This makes the Constitution not just a document of laws, but a framework for, say, social justice, human dignity, etc. Right? Done. This was Article 21. Now, let's take a break. Let's take a break. And let's be back at 4:15, 12 minutes of break, because we'll have a very easy. This is capital A. This means it was not there originally. It was added later on. When was it added? Through the 86th Amendment Act 2002. And what's the right? The state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years in such a manner as the state may by law determine. State may by law determine. So state has made a law, and that law that law is called Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009, the RTE Act of 2009. Again, a classic example of a non-self executory right. And just to tell you, with the 86th Amendment Act, one more change was made, or rather two more changes were made. The fundamental rights were modified. DPSP was modified. Article 45 was modified. So, yes, the class started just now only. Don't panic, nothing was lost. Provision for ECCE, Early Childhood Care and Education. ECCE. So basically, you must have seen in your nearby areas these play schools for kids. Kids 2 years old, 3 years old, 1 year old, 6 months, no, not 6 months old. They are sent to these play schools, charging exorbitant fees, right? So the idea is that these people in the private schools, they are organizing these play schools, etc., to provide for early childhood care and education. And the same should be there for the government schools also. So the state shall now endeavor means to take effort to provide ECCE for kids under 6 years of age. Okay. And there's also a duty now, the duty of every citizen who is a parent or a guardian to ensure that their kid between 6 to 14 goes to school. Article 21 capital A. Very simple. Now coming to Article 22, protection against arrest and detention. Now, whenever you are arrested, there are three rights that you have. Number one, right to be informed of the grounds of arrest. Reason. So next time the police comes to arrest you, you please tell them, why have you arrested me? Give me a reason. The police may slap you, but polity wins. Okay? You have to be informed why you are being arrested. Number two, right to consult a legal practitioner. Clear? Lawyer. So when the police arrests you, you tell them, I will talk to my lawyer only and nobody else. Okay? And number three, the police, when they arrest you, they have to take you to a nearby judicial magistrate within 24 hours. It does not include journey time. Journey time meaning the time taken for you to take you to court from the police station, from police lockup or the place of arrest. The journey, the travel time, that is excluded. Okay? Are we clear? Any and every court, the police that arrests you, they have to present you in front of a judicial magistrate. It is mandatory. Now, this kind of right is denied to two categories of people. One is an enemy alien. Who is an enemy alien? Will you please shed some light on this, guys? Who is an enemy alien? Citizens of those countries with which India is fighting a war. Okay. And people who are arrested under preventive detention laws. What is preventive detention? Oh, amazing. Foreigners with fighting relationship. What a nice way to describe it. Now, what is preventive detention? In your childhood days, when your mom used to leave the house for 3-4 hours or maybe for a few days, she knew that once she is not here, you'll go crazy. So she would slap you and beat you beforehand only, before leaving, so that now you behave for the next few hours or days. What is that? You have done nothing wrong, but still you are getting a thrashing, so that you behave. Punishing somebody in anticipation of a crime. So when you detain somebody before the person has actually committed a crime, that is called preventive detention. Normally, detention is called punitive. After crime is committed. Punitive. After crime, punitive. Before crime, preventive. Now, preventive detention. For example, let's say in your area, there is some kind of riot going on, Hindu-Muslim riot. Now, when the last time this kind of riot happened, there was some person in your area who made some hate speech, further adding fuel to fire. So this time, the police may take proactive steps before the person can cause further damage by giving some hate speech, etc. The police arrests the person. Come, you come to jail, because we know that you do something stupid. Habitual offenders, repeat offenders, right? Now, preventive detention can be done on the grounds of maintaining the security of the state, maintaining public order, maintaining the supply of essential services, foreign affairs or security of India. And who can make laws on this? Laws can be made by both center and states. Why? Because preventive detention is in the union list as well as the concurrent list. Okay. So what happens? The police comes and arrests you. When the police comes and arrests you, uh, the idea is that uh, the police can arrest you and keep you in the lockup for maximum 3 months. Within those 3 months, the police must take you in front or present you in front of a judicial advisory board. This advisory board comprises of somebody who has been a judge, or somebody who is a judge, or somebody who is qualified to be a judge of the High Court. Okay. Now, this advisory board will look into the police's allegation and may then advise either the police to, come on, let him go, or take him to court. You can't keep him like this. Or the advisory board can say, okay, continue arresting the person. So it depends. So further imprisonment can be allowed by the advisory board. Now, what is the maximum period of this imprisonment? Parliament can make laws on maximum period, and you will observe that this maximum period, it varies. For example, under the National Security Act 1980, it is 1 year. Under the Public Safety Act 1978, it is 2 years. For 2 years, you can be detained, kept in house arrest, under arrest for 2 years without even telling you why you have been arrested, without even taking you to court, without even giving you a legal representation. Yes, Abhishek, absolutely correct. Are we clear? Look at the exception, such draconian exception. And there are so many laws in the country which were and which are there, which support this idea. PDL, preventive detention laws in the country. We had the PDA, it's gone now. We had the MISA. Remember MISA? Maintenance of Indira and Sanjay Act. Sorry, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. MISA. This was upheld by Supreme Court as constitutional. Right? Then COFE POSA. This is the Smuggling Act. This is not NASA, sorry. This is NSA. NSA. National Security Act, it is still there and largely misused by the government to harass people. TADA, the law, the act under which Sanju Baba was arrested. TADA. Then Prevention of Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. This is a law under which Aryan Khan matter. POTA, the dangerous law POTA, has been repealed now, but sadly the provisions have been added under UPA. Right? Just remember some examples of some of the laws. Examples. Now, what is the right of the people who are arrested under preventive detention? What right do you have? Number one, as soon as may be possible, the police will communicate to you the reason for arrest. As soon as possible. Now, can I ask you something? What is the meaning of as soon as possible? Tell me. If you say, sir, I will start writing answers as soon as possible, it means never. Are we clear? Frankly, it means never for the police. So this is there. Earliest opportunity of making a representation. Earliest opportunity. If you ask the police, it means never only, right? So this is what is actually there. In fact, when you are arrested under preventive detention, why you have been arrested, the reason can be told to you. Yes, it can. But if the police feels that by telling you the reason, it may affect public order, the police may deny telling you the reason also. So you can be jailed for 3 months at least without telling you any reason. Right? Imagine all those who become IPS officers, you'll have this kind of power. Is it fair to give any authority this kind of arbitrary power? It is not fair. Sadly, this is still finding a place in our constitution. How it amazes us. It just surprises us that how have we allowed this to be a part of our constitution despite 75 years Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, right? Some police officers of the states who are enjoined with the duty of preventing crime, right, and are equally responsible for protecting the rights of citizens, seem to be oblivious of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution and are curbing the liberty, the freedom of our people, right? This trend has to be put to an end. We have to have a serious discussion that preventive detention being part of the Constitution is wrong. It's an extraordinary measure. Reckless use of this, invoking this at a drop of the hat, right? So to unchain the shackles of the preventive detention, it is important that the safeguards have to be used properly, right? Anyway, this is Article 22. We are done with the right to freedom. Now solve this question first and then we'll move forward. Answer. According to the, which article is this? Tell me. One is correct actually. I just want to know the article. This is Article 355. Under emergency provisions, we have seen this. Duty of the state. One is correct. The Constitution exempts the states from providing legal counsel to person being held for detention. Yes, of course. The Constitution exempts the states. The states no need to give any kind of legal help to people under PDL. Not required. The rights which are given to people normally are not given to people arrested under preventive detention. Now, according to the Prevention of Terrorism Act, confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as evidence. No, it can be used as evidence. That was a problem with POTA. This is wrong. Can. If the confession is made in the presence of an SP, then this can be used. B. Only 2 is the right answer. Okay. Benika, there is no against this arrest. Preventive Detention Act that was made, that has expired. The laws are there are other laws. So Lakshmikant, chapter 7 is there on fundamental rights. Vaibhav. Pili, again it's an exception. Exceptions are allowed. Pooja, National Security Act. Should we move on now? Sir, any person of the rank SP or above. Lakshya, SP is an IPS officer. Yes. Now let's come to Articles 23 and 24, right against exploitation. So, Article 23 says traffic in human beings, begar, these kind of forced labor things will no longer be allowed. They are prohibited. And if you try to enforce such things on people, you will be punishable in accordance with law. So you will not do all this. What is traffic in human beings? Buying and selling of men, women, and children. That's called traffic in human beings. Or immoral traffic in women, children, including prostitution. Not allowed. Devdasis. Devdasis. Oh, slavery, we know slavery. Devdasi is a concept that was there in the country wherein the original idea, Dev Dasi, serving the Lord, slave to the Lord, the God's Lord. So Devdasi referred to the idea where people before attaining the age of puberty, girls, they would be sent to temples. And now, in a sense that you are now devoted to God, meaning you will devote your entire life serving the temple's needs, cleaning the temple, maintaining it, upkeeping the temple, etc. So this was called Devdasi. Now, of course, such things start with a lot of fanfare, ensuring purity, etc. Right? Devdasis. But later on, it was found that the priests of the temples started misusing this provision by sexually exploiting these women who were there. And that is the beauty of religion. The religion is largely misused by the caretakers of religion. That's the amazing part, right? In every religion, the ones who are expected to uphold the morality are the ones who misuse it because maybe they know there is no God. Anyway, so this was there as the concept, and now we have said that there will not be such concept of Devdasis anymore. It's banned. There is a movie called Dheeraj, absolutely correct. Shyam Singh Roy, starring Nani, right? Okay. So those who are interested, please watch the movie Shyam Singh Roy. I think it's on Netflix, if I'm not wrong, starring the actor Nani. Those who have watched, very good, amazing. Hats off to you. We have laws also to punish for such things. Like we have a law called ITPA or BLA, Bonded Labor System Abolition Act. ITPA was originally called SITA, Suppression of Immoral Traffic Act, SITA. So resemblance with the Hindu goddess. That is why we have to rename it. That no. New name ITPA, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. So what is begar and what is forced labor? Begar and forced labor are not allowed. See, begar means you are being forced to work without any money. And means forced labor means you are forced to work against your will. For example, if your parents are asking you, come on, mom says, bring vegetables from the market. Also tell the shopkeeper, give extra dhania, coriander leaves, extra chilies. Now you are feeling, oh, future IS officer, should you go to market to purchase all these things and bargain also? Never. If your parents are not giving you money for all these activities, asking you to fill the fridge with water bottles and all, please tell them, no more. I will not tolerate. Begar is wrong. It violates Article 23. Okay? But again, you know very well what is going to happen. If slippers and brooms come your way, you are solely responsible. Okay? But again, polity wins. That's what we want. So forced labor, like you are studying here right now, forced labor. You don't want to study. You wanted to have fun Sunday afternoon, evening, playing, watching something, but because your parents are telling you, come on, study, forced labor. Okay? Yes, yes. Then parents will start violating all the human rights. That's true. Yes, yes, of course. So please use all these things at your own risk. Now, one more thing, traffic in human beings, forced labor, etc., will not be allowed. But very interesting, the state can impose all these things. Look at this. Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from imposing compulsory service. Saloni, but no parent beats their children like you described. Arey Saloni, it was just a joke. But I am true also. There are situations where parents do beat their kids. It's okay. Others would know. And it's all said in lighter vein, guys. I'm not sure if there's somebody who is getting emotionally traumatized. So don't feel bad. That's what I said. Jokes. Okay. Now, so as I said, your parents may not be allowed to force compulsory service. No, that's not possible. But the state can. Look at the provision. State can impose compulsory service for a public purpose. And while the state is imposing such service, they will not discriminate on the grounds of religion, race, caste, or class. Example? Any example? Military service. Conscription. If India is at war, we can simply tell you, come on, let's come and fight. Now, if the government forces you to get military training, like some countries, Algeria, Cuba, Israel, this actress, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, she was a part of Israeli forces. South Korea, Chile, right? Iran, various countries have compulsory military service for everybody. Now, in our country, can the government say compulsory military service for all Hindus? Is it possible? Of course not. Religion can't do it. Can the government say compulsory military service all the poor people? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. Class. No discrimination on the ground of class. Can the government say compulsory military service all women? Yes. Gender is not mentioned here. So please, in future, be prepared. Men, women, and all other hundreds of genders. It may be possible. Now, a small point, and I would request your response here. Let's assume that you have studied very nicely and you have cleared the prelims, and you have now entered the mains. You have cleared mains also, and now you're going for the interview. Just imagine, don't get lost. Come back to the class. Come back. Now, when you are going for the interview, you are dressed in your best of dress, pristine white dress, walking towards Dholpur House, UPSC building, right? You have taken bath after 4 or 5 months finally, right? Ready to impress the interview board. Once you reach there, or before that, while you are about to reach, a police constable stops you, says, wait, where are you going? You are in full arrogance. You say, don't stop me. Going for UPSC interview. I'll become IPS officer and transfer you. The policeman says, oh, okay. So you have read everything properly. You say, yes, of course. Did you study polity? You say, of course, from the best. No, I mean, yes, of course I have studied. Then the policeman says, do you know Article 23? Do you know Clause 2? You say, of course I know Clause 2. State can impose compulsory service for a public purpose. Am I a part of state? The constable says, yes, of course. Ajay Hasya case, Article 12. I know you're a part of state. The constable says, okay, I am asking you to perform a compulsory service. Clean the drains which are clogged right now. Drains meant for public, it is jammed, it is clogged. Clean it right now. Compulsory service. Public purpose. Do it. Tell me, can the police constable issue this order? If not, why not? Don't write no. You have to give reasons for no. Yes is okay. Cleaning the drainage is not manual scavenging. Arey Pallavi, military service is just an example. Only state government? No. Let me tell you, the policeman cannot give you such an order. No, because this compulsory service requires a law. A law has to be made. Without a law, the executive cannot do it on their own. So orders are not sufficient. Legislation is required. Are we clear, everybody? Some of you wrote this, others' logic is wrong. The real reason is anybody can impose it if there exists a law to impose it. Restrictions through laws only. Always remember. Clear? Okay. This was Article 23. Now Article 24. This is the classic site of the country, right? Where the rich elite people play golf in huge golf courses, and the poor 10 people live in a 500 square feet area, and the kids work. So kids can watch the elders playing golf, enjoying their life, right? This is Article 24, prohibition of employment of children in factories, etc. So no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or any mine or engage in any other hazardous employment. And there is a law which punishes you if you employ kids in such activities. The law is called Child Labor Regulation and Prohibition Act 1986. Now please tell me. I'll take a poll. Oh, okay. So you are in for a surprise. It's been 17 years now. In 2006, this law was modified and it banned the employment of children as domestic help or in roadside dhabas, tea stalls, spas, hotels, restaurants. You could not force them to work, or you could not employ them. And in 2016, this law was further widened. Now, kids under 14 are not allowed to work anywhere. You cannot employ a kid under 14 anywhere. There are only two exceptions. Exception one is the audio visual entertainment industry. You know, all these sectors that we have, all these TV shows, movies, Dance Junior, Sing Senior, or Sing Junior, whatever it is. There it is allowed. And second, family run enterprises. So if your family, let's say, runs a some vegetable shop. After school hours, you are allowed to help your parents. And here also, family does not mean your uncle's 10th cousins, 14 son-in-laws, 15 daughter-in-law. No, no, no. Family is defined as your father, mother, unmarried brother, sister, etc. Clear? Very close-knit group. Those are the only two exceptions. And now we have one more category called adolescent. Who is an adolescent? Kids between 14 to 18. I'm sure some of you here are adolescents. Who all here are adolescents? 14 to 18. Tarun, Pihu, Avni, as Geetyon. Of course, Bhuvnesh. Where is Bhuvnesh these days? He is not attending the classes only. Rakesh. Okay. So all those adolescents people here, you are prohibited. Pavitra, you also. Okay, great. You are prohibited from being employed in hazardous occupation. Okay. What does this mean? Mines, explosives, and inflammables. In these three occupations. If you want to know what these occupations are, download the law called Factories Act 1948. In that schedule 1, you'll find a list of all these occupations like coal industry, iron ore, paper making, bangle making, etc. Right? And there is also punishment, of course. What is the punishment? Jail term and fine. So jail term here is up to 2 years. Six months to 2 years. And the fine 20,000 to 50,000. Clear? The court will punish. The concerned officer will impose this punishment. So this is there. I would also want to tell you that despite this law, I'm sure you must have seen all these kids working in chai, tea stalls, hotels, etc., roadside dhabas. That is all illegal activity. Now, please, if you find this, you can take some photograph and send it to the nearest police station or complain, go to the Ministry of Women and Child Development website and lodge a complaint there. Don't take matters in your own hands. Okay? You are not a law enforcement agency. So this happened. This is a true story. I think around 4 years back. So after I said this, that it's your duty to report all these things. One very excited student. So she came to me after a few days and said, "Sir, you had told us to complain and report. So I saw this kid begging on the street. I tried to catch hold of him and I tried to tell him, come on, who is employing you? Who is your boss?" And when I told him I'll take you to the police, he started shouting, kidnapping, kidnapping. And then people came, what are you doing? So please, guys, don't take the matters in your own hands. I'm requesting you, please complain. Don't be the savior and the Messiah. You are not the Messiah. Okay? Complain. Once you clear the services, then you can take matters in your own hands. Okay. Otherwise, kidnapping and various kind of allegations on you around the corner. See, a kid under 14, he or she has no such idea of whether you are doing right for him or her or wrong, right? They don't have the understanding. So they may do anything to escape all that. Solve this question came in 2017. Now I hope no, it's a part of right to equality. Minorities, no, a part of cultural rights. 29. This is correct. Article 24. C 1 and 4 only is the right answer. Done. Now the freedom, this is correct, Article 24, C 1 and 4 only is the right answer. Done. Now the freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28, the next group of rights. Okay, I'll launch the, I'll show you the lead. Soumya, I'll give the poll, don't worry. Ahead to act as a protector on behalf of God. Okay, don't come running after me tomorrow to kill me. Are we clear? We are here in a legal class, in a legal discussion. Clear? Okay. So with that information, please take a break, go back, enjoy, and once we are back from the break, we'll discuss the very, very controversial freedom of religion, and we'll come back at 5:30 to continue our discussion further. Okay? Break, please, guys. Come back at 5:30. Join with the new link, and we'll continue our discussion